everybody. Welcome to BO Boys for Thursday, July 18th. Fuck it. It's a raw feed. We're doing it live in studio.
In studio, I'm Pat. Hey guys.
Hey, guys.
Hey guys. So we're here in the BO Boys studio inside of BO HQ, just down the hall from the famous BO water cooler.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we had to get together for this one because this is a huge, huge movie coming out this weekend.
Yep.
It's here. Twisters is here. And Clayton, we haven't seen it as of now, but we will be seeing this film in IMAX tomorrow night or late tonight. Thursday night, we are seeing this film.
Mm-hmm.
So that's already a great sign for this movie's box office that the BO boys have deemed this important enough for a Thursday night opening weekend IMAX screening.
And there's been so much talk of walk-ups
Hmm.
in the past few weekends, and it's really been the story of this summer. But we booked our tickets way ahead of time,
Way ahead of time.
like 4 weeks out.
Possibly 4 weeks out. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked a lot about how in this current era, people do not want to be tracked.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with being tracked.
You love it.
I love it. Ride your bicycle up to me in Europe, say hi. I
Yeah.
love it. But you are one of those, you hate to be tracked. And you were willing to be tracked. Why tell me, why were you willing to be tracked for the opening weekend of Twisters?
Well, there's some things that are inevitable. Like people are going to know your whereabouts at some point.
Right.
I mean, I'm not off the grid yet. And so me showing up as a tiny blip in a sea of people
Mhm.
watching Twisters, I feel a little bit safer that way.
Yeah.
Right?
So that there is something to, because listen, people did not want to be tracked for Horizon.
No.
And there were no advanced sales for that movie. There were
Well, we,
no
we
walk-up
bought our
sales.
tickets with phone cards.
Yes, yes. We used the 1-800 collect cards that we had left over from the Carrot Top days.
Hmm.
So
We
that is
blew
what we,
dust off of them.
yep,
Thick
yep,
layer of dust.
yeah. And we used those to go see Horizon. Horizon was not a movie people were willing to be tracked for. I think it's both that audience in particular we talked about, they do
Hmm.
not want to be tracked, but the movie didn't feel important enough to allow yourself to be tracked. I think that is the difference with something like Twisters. It's enough of an event where people will buy their tickets ahead of time and allow their whereabouts to be known.
Hmm.
And that goes to, I mean, let's start off with, what does this IP mean? Because Twister, the original Twister, came out in what, 96?
96.
And was, I was looking at the statistics for it. I forgot just how big that movie was.
Oh yeah,
Because
opening weekend 41 million.
but then it held in the what, high 30s or 40. You've got the computer in front of you, so for me it's all coming off the dome. But that movie had incredible holds for the next 2 weeks. Like that movie was a legit phenomenon that we don't think of as a phenomenon because there weren't five of them.
Yes, would you like to hear these
Let's
holds?
hear these holds. Yeah.
So, like I said, first weekend 41.
Yeah.
Second weekend 37.
That's
Down only 10%, but hold on to your britches.
yeah.
In its third weekend, $37.9 million. It went up 2%.
When I hear those numbers, if a movie did that today, it would be such incredible box office and such incredible holds that I feel like we would be somewhat frightened
Mm-hmm.
to see those kind of holds.
Yeah.
It would be almost disturbing nowadays if a movie opened at 41 and then in its third weekend it's made 37.9. Like if we saw that, that would feel in 2024 like a sign of the apocalypse in a good way, but like a
Oh,
good apocalypse, but
mm-hmm.
still an apocalypse.
A positive apocalypse.
Yeah,
So when you look at something like Anyone But You,
right,
which it starts out at 6 million, right? We're
right,
not talking a movie that opens to 41 and
mhm,
then holds like that. I mean, that's what you're talking about too, is that
right,
we've seen movies that have had really great holds or, gone up, but they started at such a low level.
Right.
To have a movie that was a hit, I mean, that was a hit out of the box,
Hit. Yep. That was a hit out of the box.
and
Yeah.
then even more people wanted to see it
Yeah.
is spectacular. So, I mean, when you look at that, again, it was so many years ago.
So many years. Yeah.
It was before the planet had been destroyed over and over and over and over again. I mean, this
Mhm.
is the knock people have on these sort of movies, is that the special effects are no longer something that is going to draw people.
Is that the same? Okay, wait. So that's May 96. Is Twisters the same summer as Independence Day? Is that possible? Did Twisters come out in May and ID4 Part 1 came out that July?
Yeah, Independence Day is 96.
Because a summer, and this is not a look back show, but a summer that has both Twisters and ID4, that does feel historic. And we talk about the summer of 89, but again, I think it goes to just how overshadowed Twisters is by its contemporary blockbusters of the 90s.
Hmm.
Jurassic Park gets so much press, because it's Spielberg, because there's 5, 6 of them, and the franchise continued. ID4 gets so much press because it broke Will Smith.
Hmm.
And I feel like Twister didn't get doesn't get looked back as being as gigantic of a movie as it actually was because it didn't break a major movie star.
Hmm.
Helen Hunt has her run and she wins an Oscar a year later, but she's not Will Smith.
Mm-mm.
And the director of Twister, Jan de Bont, is not Spielberg.
No.
Um, so Twister does get forgotten, but my God, that is an incredible box office run.
Yeah, so July 5th, 1996, Independence Day.
Wow.
Yeah, big summer. Yeah.
Wow. What is you saw Twister in the theater?
Raw fee.
Yeah, fuck it, we're doing it live. We're leaving it
And this
raw
is
for you.
HD, so they saw the particles, the particulates.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's as if it showered you, the viewer. Yeah.
Yeah.
So hey guys, achu guys,
Yep.
achu.
That's you guys.
Um, did you see Twister in the movie
I
theater in
did.
'96? You had to,
Yeah.
yeah. And here's the thing, and that probably plays a little on why it doesn't get remembered quite as well. I don't know how much people loved the original
Hmm.
in the way that we all loved Independence Day, we all loved Jurassic Park, we all love Batman 89
Hmm.
and all that. And not that Twister the original is bad or anything like that, but I don't think it's looked at even in the moment as something that people loved as much, but they went. We all went.
Yeah.
We all went over and over again. Those holds were incredible.
Yeah. I mean, I think the big thing we all remember is
Yes.
the cow flying.
Yep.
But again, not to take anything away from this movie, but that was the summer of the White House being destroyed.
Right.
And so when you're talking about the special effects and how that was at that moment in time, there was a breakthrough in special effects in the last few years where stuff could start to look really great. I mean, we're talking T2, we're talking Jurassic Park,
Right.
we're talking Twister, we're
Right.
talking Independence Day.
Right.
And so, yeah, the cow was flying, but the White House getting destroyed,
Right.
that was unprecedented in the way it was done. So I think that stole some of its thunder too, right? Where Twister was a special effects extravaganza movie, and it sort of paled in comparison to something that came right after it. So I think it's an overshadow, as you've mentioned before. That I think is what has Twister suffering
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to these other blockbusters. But here's the thing with Twisters
Mm-hmm.
is that I think that it's sort of funny now where there's been so many special effect heavy movies to the point where we've been
Mm-hmm.
bludgeoned so much by planets exploding.
Right.
Every landmark in America and across the pond in every nation has been destroyed on camera.
Right. Right.
And there's something quaint about they're just tornadoes.
Yeah.
There may be multiple, but they're just tornadoes, and they're rendered in such a way where you could not think they're special effects, hopefully, fingers crossed.
Hmm.
But you also have these actors that people actually like that are sort of coming to a peak, or at least one of the peaks of their careers at the moment.
Right, right.
Which I think Helen Hunt crossing over into movies was a big deal then. So like that got that Twister a little bit of bump.
I mean, 96, not to stay on 96, but 96, the summer movie season was defined by two NBC sitcom stars getting into movies. It was Helen Hunt and Will Smith
Mm-hmm.
leaving NBC to become movie stars.
Yeah.
That is what defined the summer of 96.
Yeah. And I mean, thank God neither of
And I
these
think there was a
actors
Mission Impossible movie that year. I think
uh
that might have been the other blockbuster around that same summer. Is I think MI2 might have been summer 96. But
oh no, MI2 was later.
MI2 is later.
Yeah.
Okay.
MI2 was in the 2000s.
Is it really? They're that late. Okay.
Yeah, because there's that big Limp Bizkit song on the soundtrack.
Oh,
And
okay.
remember Metallica, that was the whole thing. Not to get this is really in the
Yeah, yeah,
weeds,
yeah.
but they took down Napster because somebody downloaded a demo from the soundtrack
Right.
of MI2.
Right. Um, so yeah, back to your point about we've seen the Earth blow up. We've watched 20 years of Marvel movies where the stakes are intergalactic.
Mm-hmm.
And does Twisters give people what they want right now, which is let's just go back to caring about whether a cow explodes or not.
Yeah. I mean, let's make the special effects part of the stew, not the main course.
Right, right.
And I think that's what filmmaking and the way you can make big budget filmmaking when you look at something like Maverick.
Hmm.
This is not going to do Maverick business. We would love it to, but it's not going to do that. It just can't.
Well, it doesn't have Helen Hunt back.
Yeah.
Helen Hunt would have to be your Maverick here.
Hmm. But there was a lot of practical in that, but there was a special effects in that movie, but you never felt like I'm just looking at digital things
Mm-hmm.
all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You had practical plus digital done in a way that was seamless so that you didn't have to think about it. You're always thinking about it with superhero movies. You're always thinking about it with sci-fi movies. You're always thinking about it. But with something like Twisters, you, you don't necessarily have to think about it. You're just like, these are natural phenomena and we're good.
Right, right, right. Yeah. Horizon, not to keep going back to the biggest bomb of the summer, but Horizon sort of had a similar setting, obviously a different time period, a couple of 100 years earlier, 100 years earlier. Um, but it was set in the flyover states, the way
Hmm.
Twisters is. And Horizon just didn't focus enough on giving people what they wanted, which was
People.
people. Is this cow going to fly away? Is this cow going to explode? If Costner had focused more on perhaps he had all these stories going. If he just focused on, is this cow going to get something going to happen? Not blown away because he's not going to have a twister, but is someone going to kidnap this cow, murder this cow? That may have helped that movie because it does seem like people just they want to have just more of a focus in their blockbusters after all these years of Marvel. We got to go to space and we got to go different universe and you know in some ways Horizon was almost closer to a Marvel movie than it is to Twister because it just had all these different stories and everything going on and people just kind of want to focus, let's have these two people try and save this cow.
Well, I don't want to beat up on Horizon,
Yeah, we're not here to do that.
but the ending of Horizon, uh, American Saga Chapter One,
Chapter 1, yeah.
ends. I'm surprised Marvel hasn't done the stuff that he did at the end of this,
Right.
showing scenes from forthcoming movies. That's something I could see Marvel having done
Mhm.
or doing again, where it's like, hey, wait, you do want to see all these things because look at this clip from Thunderbolts. Look at this clip from the new Avengers
Right.
that's got no Kang, we promise, and all these things. I could see that's like a Marvel move that he did at
Yes.
the end of Horizon.
Yeah, and he needed to do a Twister move, which is just Costner, a lady, and a cow.
Well, just quickly, because you did mention Horizon, and we didn't mention Horizon last episode at all. And the reason being
Mm-hmm.
is that even though we didn't do the episode till Monday, and the reason we didn't do the episode till Monday, as much as Pat is alluding to other things in the last episode, so you can watch that or you can listen to
Yeah,
it.
listen to the last episode, see what I was alluding to. Yeah.
I was waiting, hoping
Mm-hmm.
that they would report numbers on Horizon.
Mm-hmm.
And we did that Monday night at 10 p.m., and they had not reported the numbers for Horizon yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to just jump on mic because the people want what the people
Yeah,
want.
yeah. They couldn't wait any longer. They were getting mad.
But we got the update. It came in at 7.
Okay.
It made 2.2, down 58%, lost 747 theaters,
Yeah.
had a per theater average of $863, a total gross in its third weekend of $26.8 million.
Mm-hmm.
And I am here to say, put the cows back out in the pasture, put the horses back in the barn. It's over.
It's over. You're
I, I,
declaring it. The
it's
series
got to
is
be.
over.
It's I well, this movie's for sure over.
Yeah.
I mean, this movie, because then we were looking for showings. There's no showings in New York City,
Yes.
barely any.
Yeah.
I'm sure in the Heartland there's some showings, but not that many.
Mm-hmm.
I think they are wrapping it up on this. So it's sad. He swung and he missed. He
Uh-huh.
struck out. I mean, this is a strikeout for
Yes.
sure.
Yeah.
But
But it's
the only
somehow it's
way,
four strikeouts at once. That's the difference. Like as a baseball metaphor, a batter can't go up there and strike out four times on three
so
pitches, which is what Costner basically did this summer.
so essentially what Costner did was his team had an at bat.
Is that a golden sombrero? Is that what Costner did? Is that the golden sombrero when you strike out four times?
I think. Well, I was going to say. I was going to just explain what would
Okay.
happen in the game
Yeah.
if this was really what happened was he he strikes out
Right.
at bat.
Okay.
Side changes. He's the only at bat because that counted for 3. But then it also counted for an extra one. So the next at bat his team gets, they only get 2 outs.
Yeah. Okay, so that's explaining it in a simpler way.
Yes.
Got it.
Because
Okay.
not a lot of people watch baseball, our national pastime, so they wouldn't know what a golden sombrero
Yeah, yeah, that
is.
definitely
So this is
helps.
for the layman
So,
or the European who you're very fond of. So
oh,
the people who
if you're out
listen
in
are
Europe,
fans of you.
I'm gonna be out there later this summer. Hey guys. Hey guys. So yeah, Horizon pretty much out of theaters. It's fully out of New York City. So honestly, that's all that matters. Um, Total bomb. But back to Twisters. Clayton, did you see the video that the Twisters team released earlier in this week of it's some kind of live event, and you've got the two stars of this movie, Daisy Edgar Jones, and
Glenn
of
Powell.
course Glenn Powell, and they're in some kind of they call it like a Twisters booth. It's they put them in this glass booth. It basically is like the game show money
Yeah,
booth. They put them in one of those
without the money.
without the money. They
Okay.
basically put them in one of those game show booths where the money is flying all over the place
And you
and
have
you
to
have to
grab
grab the
it.
money.
Yeah.
Except I guess they thought it would look kind of gross to have these millionaire movie stars also then grabbing money.
Mm-hmm.
But that was the Twisters booth, and they put them in there. They get the air going, it's blowing all over, and instead of grabbing money like they were on a Merv Griffin game show, they start, and not in a way that's going to be, HR or anything, but you see them, they hold on to each other a little bit. They're getting close.
Okay.
And I saw this video and I was like, this is it. That is the perfect marketing stunt
Mm-hmm.
right there for this type of movie is you're showing off the two things that people really want out of this movie. They want a lot of air.
Mm-hmm.
They want fast, powerful air.
Yes.
And so the game show money booth gives you fast, powerful air.
Mm-hmm.
And they want these two to, be a little touchy-feely to flirt, to sort of be two attractive people that we could imagine. They're not going to do, you know, X-rated gonzo
Yeah.
pornography,
Yeah.
sex scenes and twisters, but give us a little bit so that we could then go home and imagine that
Well,
for
that's the added
Thanksgiving.
6 minutes for the unrated,
Yes. Yeah.
where they play Twister
Yeah.
for real.
For real. Yeah.
But that
But
is,
you haven't seen that
I
video?
haven't seen it, but I
Oh,
will watch it tonight.
yeah.
Absolutely. The thing with Glenn Powell, and we saw this with Anyone But You,
Mm-hmm.
we saw this with Hitman, unfortunately, not a theatrical release.
Mm-hmm.
And we're seeing it now, where he is a leading man
Mm-hmm.
who actually seems like he has romantic chemistry with his co star.
Yes.
And you would think that that would be the baseline for acting and, pardon me, acting
Yeah. And movie
and
stardom
movie
acting.
stardom.
Yeah.
Because I don't want
Like
you to get,
Harvey Keitel does it. Although Harvey Keitel is someone who always he seemed like he had sexual chemistry with things that were in his movies.
exactly. They
But
don't, yeah.
a character actor doesn't have to have that vibe, but a movie star does.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where it's not about sexualizing anybody, and it's not
No, no.
about what anybody in real life actually wants. It's like when you see two people who are supposed to be falling in love in a movie, you would hope that you believe it.
Yeah.
And so he does a really good job on screen and off of playing with that. And as long as everybody's okay and it's respectful, I think that's great. And it draws people
Yeah.
to the theater.
And it's the type of thing that people have been missing from blockbuster movies for the last 10, 15 years of
Yeah.
Marvel because in a Marvel movie,
Yes.
if you were to take their male lead and the female lead in one of these Marvel movies and put them in the game show Money Wind Machine, Marvel would want them to have their backs to each other,
Well, no.
to not accidentally even they wouldn't put them in the same one. They would put them in side by side game show Money
Yeah.
Wind Machines.
They would
Yeah.
put it, and the actor,
Mm-hmm.
the male, would take his shirt off to show how much working out he did to get in the
Yes.
role. He would be
Yes. All
shirtless.
natural, of course.
Uh,
Of course.
of course, all
Kumail,
natural.
that was all natural.
All natural,
Yeah.
right? Creatine.
Yeah. It was
I heard it was just creatine
just
and
chicken and
salmon,
broccoli.
chicken broccoli,
Yep.
maybe salmon if he's good, no skin,
No skin, of course not.
boiled.
For 4 years because of the delay in
Yeah.
that movie coming out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And it
so
was worth it. It was worth it for that Eternals box office. It was
mhm.
definitely worth it.
They
And for
will,
all the other movies they've been in
yeah.
since.
Oh, they'll definitely be back.
They'll be back.
They'll be
Yeah.
back in Avengers 5.
Not the Return of Kang.
Not the Return of Kang,
Yeah.
but Return of the Eternals for
Yes.
sure.
Yeah. The Eternals will return in the Kang dynasty without Kang.
Hmm.
Also featuring Harry Styles.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he's there. Charlize Theron's here. The dude from that soccer show
Who
on
played
Apple who
Hercules?
played
He'll be
Hercules,
in it.
he'll be in it.
Yeah, yeah. So totally. That is such a difference that Twisters is let's get our two leads in the same game show money wind machine
Hmm.
and have it be flirty. Marvel is 15 years of, you know, everyone stay as far away from each other as possible.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that that is one of the things that we're seeing sexiness come back to the
Mhm.
theaters. That's good. We are all for it. And I think that's an element that this brings that other movies this year or this summer are not bringing.
Mhm.
You know, you're going to see Glenn Powell in a rolled up denim shirt and a cowboy hat sweating,
Mhm.
right? I mean, these are things that people want to see.
Mhm.
It's just the facts.
Yep.
And I think we're very high on this movie. I know Jeff Bock of Exhibitor
Yes.
Relations Co. Now he brings the hype.
He
He's
bring
half man, half
yeah.
hype. We
Yep.
know this. And he said that he thought Twisters was going to be the biggest movie of the summer.
Wow.
And it's not impossible. At this point, Inside Out 2 is sort of a behemoth, so that would be tough.
I think
But
it's
it
it's
being
can it be the biggest
uh,
non-animated film of the summer?
yes, yes, non-rats centric movie of
Yes.
the summer, and I think it's definitely possible. Now, Deadpool is gonna give it a run for its money, but I think Deadpool is not a movie that's gonna have a lot of legs. This feels to me like a movie that could possibly play all summer
Right.
and sort of accumulate people as it goes. Not that it's not going to open big. I do think it's going to open big, but I do think it's a PG-13
Mm-hmm.
thing that the whole family can go see that doesn't have minions in it or, you know, anxiety
Right.
or Garfield or things like that.
Right. I mean, it's a thing we've been talking about all summer in terms of Twisters is the big problem is it only gets 1 week of IMAX exclusivity. And then it loses all of those IMAX screens to Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah.
So even though Longlegs, huge overperform last weekend, 22 million, incredible, Twisters still should have opened this past Friday,
Mhm.
July 12th. And then it would have had 2 full weeks of the only claim to IMAXs. And that would have helped long term. It is a shame in some, but you know what? That's the summer. Big movies, 1 week after another. That's what
Mhm.
it should be. And we'll see if Twisters is able to withstand that opening weekend of Deadpool and Wolverine. But just in terms of this first weekend now, the projections are around 50 million. That seems to be the over under.
Yeah, Variety is going 55. I'm seeing on the ghost ship that is Box Office Pro, they're going anywhere between 60 and 75. So thank you for that range.
They're going higher. Wow. Okay.
But yeah.
I yeah, I'm so curious as to whether it could be that kind of big phenomenon. A movie to compare it to some degree is Jurassic World. And Jurassic Park is a much bigger IP than Twister because it is Spielberg. Dinosaurs are bigger than
Yeah,
tornadoes. And
dinosaurs.
there were so many sequels to that. And then you had the great long gap between Jurassic Park 3 and Jurassic World. But Jurassic World opened to 200, right? Did Jurassic World get that high in its opening weekend? Did it
Mm,
open to 200 million?
I believe so. I'm about to look officially, but I remember being shocked.
Yeah.
We
So
were shocked by
so
that.
is Twisters half as big as Jurassic World? Like, is there any way Twisters just goes bananas and gets itself to say 90 million this weekend? Like, is there that chance that there is just that much pent up desire for this IP, for these stars who were in the wind machine together and people love that, wanting to see just tornadoes, wanting to see it takes place, in the middle of the country. So
Yep.
plain billies could be represented by, extras who are being blown through the sides of their own houses. And
Hmm.
plain Billy could look at that and say, that could be
That
me.
could be me.
So there's that sort of, uh, you know, uh, thing where people could aspire by watching this movie. They could aspire to be the plain Billy who gets torn in half by a gust of wind.
So you're right. Jurassic World 2015 opened at 2000. I'm sorry, 208.8 million.
Wow.
Huge.
Wow.
I
Wow.
don't. I mean, for all the reasons we talked about before,
Yeah, it's
I
not going to be
think
that.
Twister is sort of forgotten as a movie in the sense of nobody really loves it. Loves it. I don't think that it's half as popular as Jurassic Park or dinosaurs or anything like that. I,
Okay.
I, I don't see that. I don't see 90.
If it's 40% as popular, then that means it opens to 80 million, right? Because if it's half as popular, it's 100 million. So is Twister 40% as popular as Jurassic Park?
No,
No. Okay.
no, I don't think so.
Is it 25% as popular
I
as
would say
Jurassic Park?
25 is
Because then
pretty.
that's 50 million.
Yeah, I would say it's 25%, maybe give or take. It could get up to 30%,
Yeah.
possibly.
Yeah.
I mean, again, tracking, we've seen this, we're going by pre sales. It's really all they can do.
Right.
They haven't figured out yet how much walk up business is going to come.
Hmm.
So if you add a little extra for walk up, then this could reach 60.
Hmm.
I could see that. But I don't see it. breaking huge
Okay.
in a way that's going to be shocking.
Yeah.
I just don't see it.
I mean, we'll get to our top fives and our actual predictions. I might just be feeling hotter on this because I saw that video of them in the game show Money Wind Machine.
Hmm.
And that might be coloring it, where I got to see those two stars that close, smiling, the movie star magnetism. I'm imagining the money flying all over their heads because I can't help but look at one of those machines and not imagine, people grabbing furiously at money. In a game show setting, you could not put two people in one of those machines because it would get violent within 3 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
The fact that there wasn't money in there, that's what allowed it to be fun and flirty. Had there been money, immediately someone is gouging at eyes
Oh, absolutely.
instead
Yeah.
of caressing muscles and, all that kind of stuff.
I'm trying to find this really quick so I can watch it with no sound.
You don't need the sound. In fact, I don't think I have actually watched it with sound either. So, yeah, it's one of those great videos where the sound is meaningless.
Hmm.
So, that might be coloring it a little bit. And just the general, horizon aside, the fact that box office feels on such an upswing since June started,
Oh yeah. I mean,
since Bad Boys, it basically has been all but Horizon has been good news
yes.
and well received. And, Quiet Place and Inside Out and Despicable Me and Long Leg, like everything has worked. And Horizon is a sacrifice. So it does feel like box office and just movie going is on an upswing. So was there anything else opening this weekend?
No, I mean, not anything of note, although we do need to get your long legs experience because you experienced long
I
legs.
saw it last night. I went with my wife and we saw a like a 9:30 showing of the movie, large auditorium. It was pretty full. It was, I would say, 80% full on a Tuesday night, 9:30 showing. Not even in Manhattan, in a neighborhood, but so it that's a great sign for this movie that it had that full of an auditorium on a late Tuesday night showing. So now having seen it, I and I actually had an exchange with the great podcast Jesus Kirk Minihan, who he saw the movie this weekend. He does not believe in the legs of long legs. He thinks this is short legs. He
Okay.
didn't say that. I'm saying that.
Okay.
He thought it was fine. He doesn't believe in the legs of it. I do think that it's not necessarily going to become it's not going to be Blair Witch. That's
Yes.
not in this. It's not necessarily going to be a teenager phenomenon, but I do think it is going to be a movie that I think adults tell each other go see. And I do think young people are going to get enough here that they're going to keep telling their friends to go see it. I don't think it's going to be a phenomenon, but I definitely don't think this is a one weekend and then it falls off a cliff. I thought the movie
Okay.
was good. I thought Nicolas Cage is giving you something memorable. Um, and it's just got a vibe. I think that's my main takeaway of this movie is it's got a real good vibe, and that's almost what the recommendation is going to be.
I
It's
mean,
like you got to go vibe out at this thing.
when you're looking at who went and saw this movie,
Mm-hmm.
we're talking young millennials
Yep.
and we're talking Gen Z,
Yep.
and they're all about vibes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's no group
Mm-hmm.
that is more about vibes. Maybe Deadheads, maybe
Yeah.
Grateful Dead fans are more about the vibe.
Yeah.
But this generation, these generations are very vibe driven.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're saying that, then I would then agree that if it's just a general vibe, the people are going to go
Yeah.
because that's all they need.
Yeah. Okay, so I
Don't.
can't and I won't because for you and for you, hey guys. So I
Hey,
won't
guys,
spoil in a
what are you
few
going to do?
weeks.
What are you going to do?
No, in a few weeks when we can, because there are elements of this movie not any advertising, not going to spoil, that I do think are box office positives.
Okay.
That you wouldn't know about until you go see it. But there are things that I think people are going to say you got to go see this movie because it has this and has this, and I'm not going to do it. Nagada, nagada. Um, so yeah, we could talk about that in a few weeks. That the elements of long legs, not in the marketing, that are box office horror catnip.
All right. Wow.
Did not
Okay.
spoil.
Di
Did not spoil.
You
Uh,
did such a good job.
Great job out of
Because
me.
usually when you say you're not going to spoil, you somehow spoil it just by saying there's a spoiler.
And I didn't do that
And
though.
you didn't do that.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
absolutely. But
um,
most of the time you do, but this time you didn't.
yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think for Nicolas Cage, having seen it now, I think that this is only a positive for him. I mean, obviously it's a hit. It made 22 million opening weekend, but I, you know, he's never getting back because no one ever is getting back to 90s movie stardom. So we're not going to have Con Air, The Rock face off Nick
Well,
Cage again.
his National Treasure movie, the third one,
Hmm.
is that actually even happening? And if so, is it a Disney Plus only, or has it already happened and I just don't know about
I
it?
feel like there was a non Nicolas Cage National Treasure Disney Plus series that has happened,
Yeah.
right? That feels right. I don't think there's been a Nicolas Cage return to the franchise other than the second movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I do feel like Disney Plus did some kind of streaming show without him.
Yeah, that's most likely.
But I think the success of Longlegs makes it more likely just get the band back together for National Treasure 3, get Cage back, get Bartha back, and get that thing in movie theaters.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Bartha's got to get back to movie theaters.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, the fact that he was in some of the highest grossing comedy movies of all time, but barely,
Hmm.
is one of those things that he must be so salty about. Why am I the guy who goes missing every time?
Yeah. I mean, I guess the residual checks, they almost, even though he wants the money,
Yeah.
it has to be a bitter pill to swallow. To also know that those movies were, especially the third one, the whole thing is kind of a troll.
Uh-huh.
And the troll within the troll is we all know you guys hate Justin Bartha. And the joke is every movie we sideline him so you don't have to deal with him.
Yes. Yes.
And he knows it. They know it. Would would Longlegs be an even bigger phenomenon if the reveal is that Longlegs is Justin Bartha?
Oh,
So
no.
I have just spoiled that. I'm sorry. I have revealed Longlegs is not Justin Bartha. Hey
Yeah.
guys,
Uh no. No.
it
I
would
don't
be
think
worse.
Bartha has. Yeah, I think it'd be worse.
It'd be worse.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
So
think so.
okay. So having seen the movie, I could say that much. It is not Justin Bartha. Is Nicolas Cage did
Uh,
not do a
Justin Bartha
mask.
cosplay mask.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That would be shocking. That would be the most shock. It actually is
Mm-hmm.
would be more shocking than anything that I would see when I go see this movie. If if Nicolas Cage was just playing Justin Bartha in this movie
Yes.
and
Yes.
looked just like him
Yeah.
and acted just like him, that would be so shocking.
Yeah. And I got it. I don't want your expectations to get that high. That is not what is in the movie
Okay,
Longlegs.
okay,
So like I'm not doing reverse psychology where I'm straight up telling you what's in the movie so that you won't expect it. That's not in the movie.
okay.
It is not Nicolas Cage in a full Justin Bartha Halloween mask as Longlegs.
I just feel like Justin Bartha would be trending on X if that was the case. So
Yeah.
I would have known already.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, Longlegs, I don't think it's gonna be Blair Witch. I don't think it's gonna be Megan because it just isn't poppy and fun in that way. But it opened at 22. I do think this is a movie that's going to do like 70 million domestic. I think it'll get there, have that kind of legs, have like 3.5 multipliers because it's got serial killer and then other elements that I think are box office positives.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, in terms of the other holdovers, I don't think there's anything special to go over. I mean, Inside Out 2 and Despicable Me 4 are what they are. The rats are loving it. Um, where is Quiet Place? I forget where that's at after last weekend.
It was in the top
It was like number 4,
5.
right?
Yeah, it was number 4.
And that's what, 3 weekends in,
3
4 weekends in?
weekends, it's already at 115.
Wow. Wow.
So doing good business. It is extending the life of that franchise for
Oh, for
sure.
sure. For sure.
Now we did some mail last episode,
Yes,
and so we
I really was excited to do that, and then you were
and
also
everybody
there.
was chill about it.
Yep.
We did get one email that I think we should read
Oh, I know which one. Go for it. Yeah.
from wannabe oh boy Reed. I
Yeah.
mean, stalwart of the show,
Yep.
always sending us emails, always with something to say.
Yep. Hey, Reed.
Hey Reed, uh, title: I think Greg will be fine.
Mm-hmm.
And Reed says, during the last podcast, you said that Fly Me to the Moon's director Greg Berlanti. You said to, I'm sorry, Greg Berlanti, that TV is waiting for you. He has produced or exec produced over 40 TV shows, many highly successful, has a lucrative deal with Netflix, and has a net worth of over $200 million. So, granted, he might not be the next Spielberg or even J.J. Abrams, though what non IP success has J.J. really had on the big screen? I think he'll be just fine. Love the show. Read. P.S. I apologize if my last email caused any ass sweat level discomfort.
Mm-hmm. Now
Thank you
that
for
would be directed towards you because my ass was fine in that episode.
and
I was.
and I thank you for apologizing, Reed. I appreciate it, and I accept your apology. Now, this thing about Greg Berlanti being fine,
Mm-hmm.
I, of course, he's going to be fine in the sense of the way anybody who is stuck in television is fine,
Yeah. Yeah.
but he's never going to elevate to the level of filmmaker of any sort of note. And so this is okay if that's how you want to live your life.
Mm.
If you want to toil in lower forms of art, say documentary filmmaking, television, hardcore pornography,
Mm-hmm.
if those are things that you are okay and you can sleep at night knowing that you're excelling in those fields, then that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But there's people who aspire to bigger things. Kevin Costner,
Mm.
who is failed. He's failed. I'm going to say he has failed to bring his vision to the big screen,
Yeah.
but he tried.
Yeah. But he's not fine. That's so Greg Berlanti will be fine. Kevin Costner, we don't know. Kevin Costner might be found somewhere
There is
after the money he borrowed.
there is more to life than money and things.
Mm-hmm.
And Kevin Costner, wherever he's going to sleep tonight, who knows if he's unhoused at this point,
Mm-hmm.
he will sleep knowing that his aspiration is to be a filmmaker. He's done it before and he could do it again.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that Greg Berlanti is going to be sleeping in one of his mansions, maybe on a bed of TV Netflix money,
Mm-hmm.
that is not a person who is close to God.
Okay.
Kevin Costner sleeping on a mat in someone's apartment because he
Mm-hmm.
can't afford a mansion because he tried to make a movie and it failed. He put his money into a movie. He said, "See you at the theaters."
Mm-hmm.
That is somebody who is closer to God than somebody who produces successful Netflix shows. Like, is that really somebody who is truly fine in a soul
Okay.
way,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because there's a high art form and there's a low art form,
Mm-hmm.
and TV is a low art form.
Okay.
It just is, and Netflix is even lower than TV.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so this guy might be fine on the surface, but if he is wanting his soul to be in union with God, he would be a filmmaker.
Right. Well, he is
He would
trying though. He's tried to be a filmmaker. He
then
just made a
you
movie
see this
that
$200 million
opened.
net worth?
Right.
Use that and be a filmmaker because you're going to have to do what Kevin Costner did because people aren't going to give you a chance after Fly Me to the Moon. They're not. He's going to have to pull a Costner. And does he? That's the question.
Mm,
If Greg Berlanti is truly somebody who wants to be close to the celestial heavens and
mhm,
the greatest cosmic achievement you can do, which is create a movie,
mhm.
he will take his $200 million that he made from his lucrative Netflix deal and his 40 successful TV shows, which I can name one maybe.
Arrow. Because it's the Arrowverse that he created.
Okay, so maybe I can name like five
Yeah,
because it's
yeah,
all that junk.
yeah.
He'll take that 200 million and he'll try to reach nirvana
Mm, mhm.
on his own terms. Because maybe, hey, maybe he'll want to do a Fly Me to the Moon too.
Right,
Maybe
right.
he'll want to do crappy, campy 60s movies till the cows come home, but
Mhm.
put your money where your mouth is, buddy.
Wow. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. So, yeah, is Greg
I mean,
Berlanti going to
do
be
you want to
fine?
say it straight into that camera and say, Greg Berlanti, take that 200 million and go
Greg
make?
Berlanti, hi guys. Greg Berlanti, take that $200 million and make a movie. Make a movie.
Wow. Wow.
Don't let them shut the door on you. Don't let them shut the door on you. Okay? Put your money where your mouth is. Get closer to God.
Wow. That's powerful stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's powerful stuff.
Do you have anything to say to Greg Berlanti to the camera?
To the camera, hey guys. Yeah, Greg Berlanti with that $200 million. I don't think. See, I don't think you should make a movie. I
What are you
think
doing?
vacations, travel, pamper yourself, enjoy yourself, fine meals, wines, lots of open the best bottle of the wines that you can everywhere you go. Just do that and make a TV show.
You can't take that with you,
Hey guys.
Pat. But what you can take with you is that you made a successful movie. That you can take with you. That will stay with you always.
Well, you could get the film reels in the box
Mm-hmm.
with you. Yeah. In a way that like the food is gonna just rot immediately.
Yeah.
But the yeah, you can put like the thumb drives or your movies in the box with you. So
I guess you could put DVDs of all his 40 TV shows in his box with him.
see that's the thing is like with movies that I'll give you like being a filmmaker is a lot more space efficient in the casket because even someone like Scorsese, so many movies, you could still get all those DVDs in a casket.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, I mean, he's got the size of himself going for him, so he's got a lot of room in there. If they get him a regular size casket, the amount of space he takes up, you could get all Scorsese's films on DVD in the casket.
Yeah.
Someone like Greg Berlanti, all those episodes of television,
Oh,
I don't think you could get all those DVDs in a casket.
there's 170 episodes of Arrow alone.
Right. That
So
might fill up
that's
your whole
so
casket.
many DVDs.
Yeah. Yeah, just that alone, just Arrow could fill up the casket, never mind, The Flash
Yeah.
and all those other shows. Yeah.
I mean, put everything aside. That's reason enough.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. No. All right. So rewind that back. Greg Berlanti, if we're just thinking of casket space efficiency, from this point forward, you're going to want to focus more on movies because you have run out of room in your casket because of all the TV shows you produce, which is great for you. You got your 200 million, but either stop altogether,
Mm-hmm. Make nothing.
make nothing, and then maybe we could squeeze it all in the casket. Or if you have to make stuff going forward, make low budget movies. That way it's just a single disc DVD. And you're going to want DVDs in the casket. That's the thing. It's obviously we could put this all on a hard drive, but you're going to want individual
Yeah,
DVDs for
yeah.
your products,
Absolutely.
for your
Absolutely.
project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you want to represent them individually.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think we answered that email. We got this email from wannabe oh boy Joe last week. So he saw Longlegs and said Longlegs was intriguing with a twist. Doesn't say what the twist is, which is good. Good on you, Joe. Don't spoil. Send an email. Boys, boots on the ground, theater filled, eyes gaping, wondering what would be next. Long legs. Film was fantastic. twists and turns around every corner. Legs, this movie will have. All in all, great movie. Separate side note for Pat, I can't stand actual commercials in theaters rather than trailers. Either way, yours truly, Joe. So there you go. So this was before long our last episode he had sent this. But Joe sees legs for long legs, which is great. He loved it. I liked it a lot. I thought it was good.
Pat, what is he referring to where he can't stand commercials? Is that something that you've said?
I was thinking that. I don't remember if that's a thing that we did talk about, commercials before the trailers. I'm sure it's a thing we've talked about at some point. So, I mean, listeners, email us.
Hey guys.
Hey, guys, theboboyspodcast at gmail.com. Remind us of when we talked about commercials before trailers. I mean, obviously, there's Nuvi. Um, and Nuvi has come up on the show, and we love Nuvi,
Yeah.
and wish the best for Maria Menounos and
Yes.
everyone involved in Nuvi, and love that. Hey, they're showing us the latest, models of Nokia phones, and fourth season of Animal Kingdom
Mm-hmm.
debuting on
Still got to catch up.
PBS.
So don't spoil that,
Yeah.
please.
So we love that Nuvi is doing the work to let us know, what's new in the world of Ray Bans
Mm-hmm.
and whatever they're promoting. But I don't remember having a long conversation about that recently. So, remind us.
He might be re-listening.
That is true. That is always the possibilities that he's just listening to an episode of the BO Boys from 2019. So,
So, hey Joe, refresh our memory if you can.
yeah. Yeah. So, I think that's all the emails. Oh, do you have another email?
No, we
So
do our.
let's do our top five.
Oh yeah,
Let's do our predictions. So would you like to go first or second?
I'll go first.
All right, go for it.
Number one,
Yeah.
I think Twisters is going to make a cool $60 million.
Oh, okay. Love it.
Number one. Number two, Despicable Me 4, believe is going to be number two.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Inside Out 2 is going to be number three. Because I do think Long Legs is going to drop. I don't think it's going to drop a lot,
Mm-hmm.
but I think Inside Out 2 is not going to drop a ton.
Okay.
So I think Long Legs is going to be number four. And then I see A Quiet Place, day one, at number five.
Wow.
That's my top five.
All right. So my top five. Number one is Twisters. I'm going 75.
All right.
75 million.
I love it. I hope so.
I would say then that makes it let me see, like a 40, less than 40, about like a 38%, 35%
Mm-hmm.
of I guess 37.5% of Jurassic World. That's what
Yeah.
I'm going.
That was more the highest I think I was ever going to go with that popularity would have been 33%.
Yeah, yeah. So I
So
think it's
you went a little bit higher, but I think that's the range.
yeah. So I think it does 75 million. And then number two is going to be Despicable Me 4. Number three is going to be Inside Out 2. Then Long Legs number 4. And then Quiet Place is going to be number 5. Yeah. What is the number that you have for Long Legs second weekend? So it made 22.4 in its opening weekend. Does it do a drop of 50% or
I think so.
more,
It
like
just
10
went so
million?
high.
Yeah.
Like I think it could be a 52, 53
Yeah.
percent drop, which is still going to be this thing's going to then have made like 40 million in the first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be around that.
Yeah, because I just want to see. Let's see what the day days are on Long Legs. So the day days are uh it made on the what was that? The Monday it made 2.6 million. On the Tuesday it made 3.1 million. So, and in terms of placement, it did drop behind Inside Out 2 by Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Like just a little behind it, but it still was ahead of Quiet Place. Yeah, so it'll come in number 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. So yeah, I very exciting to see, the box office rebound in June and July so far, and now we've got what we always thought were going to be possibly the two biggest movies of the summer coming in, not to really save the box office, but to
No.
just continue this hot streak, which is where you want to be.
Yeah. The big test is going to be, what can Deadpool and Wolverine do? I'm not going to say Deadpool X Wolverine because they didn't. I'm not going to do their work for them.
Yeah,
I'm not going to call it the collab because it's not the collab
it's not the
because it
collab.
doesn't have an official collab. Although we did get some boots on the ground from senior intern Christopher,
Mm-hmm.
BO intern Christopher, pardon me, saying that people at his school that he knows are referring to it as a collab,
Wow.
even though
Wow.
the marketing isn't doing it.
Wow.
Which, how much marketing should moviegoers have to do for a movie? I mean, we
Right.
saw Barbenheimer.
Mm-hmm.
We're seeing this sort of grassroots stuff happening with these movies. It's like, we shouldn't be doing the work for these
Yep.
companies, right?
Yeah.
They should have had an X there to begin with. It's the freaking X-Men,
Yeah. Yes.
right? So, like, do your job. How do they not have an X between this?
Yeah.
And how do they not have, even if it's not the X-Men X, the
Just two
Wolverine
slashes.
slash
Just two
marks
slashes.
across? Why am I doing this and you're not?
Yeah. Yeah. There should be an X. Well, listen, they still got another week. They still got another week. It could be an October surprise, final week right before the movie comes out. Boom, here's the X. It's Deadpool X Wolverine. We'll see. That's next week's episode. We will find out when we preview that movie. But in the meantime, email us, theboboyspodcast at gmail.com. We love getting your emails. We love getting your boots on the ground reporting. Hey, guys,
Hey guys.
uh, watch us on YouTube, obviously. Hey, guys, we are YouTubers. The YouTube show is giving you the full story. You only get half the story
Mm-hmm.
if you only listen to the podcast feed. So subscribe to the YouTube channel to see the whole story for the BO Boys. Follow us on social media, Twitter X and TikTok. It is at the BO Boys Pod. And of course, wanna BO senior intern Christopher, killing it with the vertical video clips. These clips are amazing. Just he knows right where to start and end a clip. So you gotta love that.
Mm-hmm.
So follow us on social media there. Live show tickets are now on sale for every show. October 8th, Los Angeles with Scott Mendelson and Jeff Bock. Buy your LA tickets there. New York City, The Homecoming, October 22nd, with Brett of the New Flesh and other big special stars. That is October 22nd on the Lower East Side at the Parkside Lounge. Get your tickets for that one. Boston tickets at the Comedy Studio are on sale November 16th. KIRK Minihan, X the BO Boys.
That's the collab.
That is the collab that is happening. You know what?
You got to change that.
I got to get the flyer.
Yes.
It's got to be the BO Boys, X KIRK Minihan. We got to get the X in there. That's the collab.
That's the collab.
Tickets are on sale. I mean, we have not even started promoting that show in any way other than mentioning it here. And I've already been told by the venue tickets are being sold.
Mm-hmm.
Tickets are being sold. So that's going to be the hot one right there.
Yep.
Is in Cambridge at the Comedy Studio, Saturday, November 16th. It's an afternoon show. We're doing a 3 p.m.
Should we just do a hot ones with Kirk?
Should I think none of us want to eat. It's
What if
messy.
we do candy hot ones?
A candy hot ones.
Well, it's not like, but it's like he just eats candy in between all of our questions,
Yeah,
just like
I don't think we.
concessions.
I don't think we need to. I don't think we need to make them do like physical stunts. I think it's just
No, but they're
we
not
do
bad.
our.
It's not like it's hot anything. It's just like regular candy.
Yeah, I mean, we could offer an array of candy for
Yeah.
sure at the show, November 16th. We will have candy, and if people want to eat candy, if he wants to eat candy, it'll be there.
Well, don't promise candy.
No, not for the people, but for our guests. KIRK
Yeah.
Minihan will have some candy, but it's not going to be a force feed situation.
Okay.
But we'll have candy for them. November 16th in Cambridge. That's going to be huge. Um, and that's it. I mean, that is all 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, of course. That's it. That is all I have.
Pat, you said it all.
Yeah.
Maybe too much. There's nothing left to say.
No, definitely not. I'm out of here.
Except for, until next time,
We'll
we'll
smell
smell
you
you
at
at the
the box
box
office.
office. Nailed
Nailed it.
it.
Hey,
Hey,
guys.
guys.